How much of your life can you live on Bitcoin?
Not much.
Okay.
But enough.
But you can buy plane tickets and pay your rent.
I can't pay my rent. I can buy plane tickets. I can buy hotel rooms. I can buy consumer goods, electronics. Through gift cards, I can buy gasoline. I can buy anything on Amazon. There's a lot of things that you can do. It's by no means convenient. So this is exactly the same as asking in 1993, how much of your shopping can you do over email or e-commerce on the web? Well, for e-commerce on the web is much later. Or how much of your communication can you do over email? Well, the answer is not many people had email at the time, so you couldn't, right? It takes time for that adoption to reach a level where it's seamless and comfortable for all consumers. Bitcoin is not something that anyone other than early adopters is going to just grab and start using today. It took 20 years from the day I sent my first email until the day my mom sent her first email. I sent my first email using Unix command line skills in 1989. My mom could not use that internet. 20 years later, she went like this on an iPad screen and sent her first email. She could use that internet. Bitcoin is 6 years old. We've got a long way to go until we can make it easier to use and easier to secure, but all of that potential is right there. It exists today, and it absolutely refuses to die. It refuses to go away. It's this incredibly resilient, relentless anomaly. And by the way, we now have this wonderful marketing coup. Bitcoin? Well, if that has a bad reputation, let's now call it blockchain. It's really funny because this transition happened primarily by banks that wanted to get involved in the technology, but they didn't want to use the word Bitcoin because of its connotations. So they started talking about the underlying technology, and they started using the word blockchain. Now, blockchain is what gets you the investment money. Blockchain is what gets you the attention. But turns out, the only functional large-scale blockchain we have on this planet is Bitcoin. And the only way you can make an open, decentralized, global, transnational blockchain, which is really where all of the excitement is Bitcoin. So we just changed the name halfway through.
Right.
If we had done it on purpose, it would be considered a genius marketing coup. Right. But in fact, people did it because they simply couldn't, they were uncomfortable with the connotations.
It's a huge marketing issue. So many startups are a big marketing issue, and digital products are. A year ago, is PayPal accepting Bitcoin now, or can you transact with PayPal?
Yes, they have under some merchant programs you can use Bitcoin directly on PayPal.
Uber is being rumored to be taking it, but I'm guessing we're not expecting that.
That wasn't, yeah, that rumor was debunked pretty quickly.
What the London Real Investment Club actually does for you, it gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals: a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals, and that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week, and for me, that was huge because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
There's a lot of complexities but the sharing economy, quite interestingly, is a great opportunity for Bitcoin.
You expect that to take off before the retail does, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But more important, actually, the thing I expect to take off first in Bitcoin is very cumbersome cross-border transactions, and there are 3 categories of that. The first one is companies that need to pay suppliers, subcontractors, and partners all across the world. Google has 20,000 affiliates they need to pay every month. Many companies have outsourcing partners, sales partners all over the world. Travel and hospitality companies, airlines, et cetera, parts companies, automotive companies. And these cross-border transactions are horribly expensive, very slow, extremely cumbersome. They have huge overheads and friction. The second one is basic import-export. If you're doing transnational trade, then using a transnational currency actually makes a lot of sense. There are disadvantages with the dollar. There are disadvantages with traditional wire transfers that Bitcoin solves. So it's practical. And then the really interesting one for me is foreign remittances. There are maybe 100 million people who are working as immigrants in developed countries, and they send $560 billion home every year through companies like Western Union and MoneyGram and things like that. And for that, they pay 9% as the average fee, netting Western Union a really handsome profit.
It's shocking.
It's absolutely shocking. And a lot of that has to do with political constraints more than anything else. But that is an area where Bitcoin can not only have an immediate technological impact, but that impact translates into an enormous source of income for some of the poorest people in the world. Now, to put that in perspective, the $175 billion that goes to fees in the international remittances market is larger than the entire foreign aid budget of all of the world governments put together. So, and you would, instead of putting this in the hands of governments and trickling it down, you give it directly to the poorest people. In fact, you give it directly to women in the poorest countries because they're usually the recipients of remittances, and they will take every single dollar and create $5 of investment in clean water, sanitation, healthcare, education, food, which has an enormous leveraged impact on poverty.
Investment Club. Today, I consider it the best investment that I've ever made. We get 4 projects presented a week by their associated CEOs. Personally, I'm completely blown away by the quality of these projects, and I know of nowhere else where I would be given this same opportunity. Each week that passes, I feel more appreciative of the fact that I'm a member of this group. The vibe was just tremendous. Everybody's on the same wavelength. We just clicked. Everybody listened to each other, enjoyed their company. It was just magical, magical. Take action. Don't take my word for it. Due diligence you need to do. And I really hope that someday down the road I see you in the club. It far exceeded expectations, without question.